We're back this week with the Biz Marketing team talking about our favorites. This is one of my favorites, talking about tools we use, our favorite tools. This could be anything. It could be a business-related, work-related tool, or some other device or tool that you use in your personal life.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. My favorite current work tool is Task Boards. It's Task Board. It's Google's version of just having your tasks. So I have it synced to my phone and my computer. So if I need to go do something later and I'm only on my phone, I can put it on my task board, later go check it off. And it's been a great way to keep track of everything I'm doing. And you can have different sections. I need to work on with Marcel, or stuff I need to work on with Peter, or my personal stuff. I can separate it out, which has been great. I really love it. And then my personal favorite tool is this daily Kairos book. It's a helpful journal that I use for daily thankfulness, daily prayer, and it's been a really helpful tool.
Nice. How long have you been doing the daily journal?
Ooh, maybe 2 months. Been really helpful for you do half of it in the morning and then half of it in the evening, and it's been great.
Sounds great. Yeah, I use Task Board as well. By the way, that was Emily. I use Task Board as well. I think I might have shown it to Emily, perhaps. Big fan of Task Board in terms of keeping track of things. It's nice to have a view. It's kind of a card view of your task that flows across the page. And it really is nice if you have a large screen monitor, because you can see a lot of tasks laid out in front of you and they're coded, and then you can decide what's most important or what you feel like working on. How about you, Ann?
It's kind of interesting. I listed my 3 top tools and they're all electronics. I think I like electronics a lot. My number one was the most recent purchase. It was an AnnMX Master 3S mouse. It's kind of a hunk. It's a little big, but it's ergonomically shaped so my hand doesn't get all cramped up. And where I'm on the computer 10 hours a day, it's really been a lifesaver for me. The others are just I love my laptop, my iPhone, and then personally, my Kindle and Candle Lighter. It's an electronic candle lighter. You don't have to use any butane or anything, and you just recharge it when it runs out of juice. And so I get a kick out of all the electronics.
I'm a sucker for some electronics myself. Marcel, how about you?
Yes, very, very similar than Anne, actually. One of my favorite tools is the iPad and the iPad pencil. It just allows me to create in a whole different setting, disconnect a little bit from the work mindset and just sit down and feel a little more freedom in terms of what comes to mind and what can I create, illustrations or just digital art. So that's one of my go-to tools once I disconnect from the laptop and the big screen here.
Nice. Yeah. I would have to say electronics is big in my life. So biggest tool that I've found, most helpful tool, has been my Remarkable, which is what they call an e-ink tablet, and I'm able to keep notes on it. And the beauty of it is, before I got the Remarkable, I used to write notes in a notebook. I like taking handwritten notes. That's just the way my brain works. But then I would have trouble going back and referencing my notes. So the beauty of the Remarkable is you can have different folders, and then within each folder, you can have different notebooks. For example, I have a folder called Personal, and then within that, I have a notebook for a trip to Italy that we recently took. And then this past weekend, I took a first aid class, wilderness first aid. So I have a notebook for that. So you can have individual notebooks for each subtopic, and each notebook can have handwriting. There's a way to input text as well, but I'm primarily using a stylus to input the information. And the screen is like a Kindle screen. So it's e-ink. So it's not like an iPad where you're looking at pixels that are projecting light at you. It's actually more of a reflected light, like a Kindle screen. And for me, it's been extremely helpful and useful, and I take it everywhere now. And one of the cool features of it is I can take a specific page and I can email myself that page. So if I'm in a meeting taking notes and I need to remember something, I can just tap on the sidebar and say send email, tap my name and hit send, and then that note gets sent to me to my email as a PDF, and I can send it to others as well. So the Remarkable is probably number one best tool ever. Then the second one that I recently got maybe 3 months ago is this little timer. And it's a little timer that sits on my desk, and you can just rotate it to change the time and then press it to start it. So it's a great way to focus. So one of the things that I'll do is I'll set it for a certain number. Let's say I know I have a meeting at a specific time. I'll set it for 5 minutes before that meeting starts, then hit go, and then it'll count down. And then when it hits the time, it'll beep. So I'm able to focus for that amount of time while the timer's going and just do some very uninterrupted focus work. Thanks for listening to this episode of Biz and Life Done Well with Peter Wilson. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and most of the other popular podcast platforms. Please tell your friends about us and leave us a review so even more people will find out about us. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.